JavaScript is better than TypeScript. No, I'm just kidding. But this is why I prefer JavaScript over TypeScript. The first reason is JavaScript just works for me, you know? Like, I don't really need types. Me personally. Like, for example, let's do. Let's do right here. R1. Wait. Okay. Like, I don't think. I just don't believe I need types. I mean, me personally, of course, you know, Netflix or Google or whatever, maybe they need to use types because, you know, it's easier to scale that way, it prevents bugs and all that, but I'm a solo dev. You know, I don't need to worry about that. It's just another thing, another worry. You know, it works for me. Okay, I don't need types, so it works for me, right? And on top of scalability, like, I think you could still write scalable code with JavaScript. It's just harder. And you know, that's why people use TypeScript, and I think that's the main typed form of JavaScript. I don't think there's any others, but I get it, right? It prevents bugs and all that. And you know, that sure sounds nice, but I'm not Netflix, I'm not Google. Well, maybe one day. Nah, I don't think so. Nah. I think I'll always stick to JavaScript. I don't really need types at all. Yeah. You know, I understand why people do have it though. It prevents bugs and all that. But I mean, since I'm a solo dev, I work with smaller code bases. So it's much easier to mentally map everything in the code base. I understand if I was working on a 50,000 line code base, okay, I probably would use TypeScript. But typically, I'm gonna work on something less than 1,000. And you know, at that point, TypeScript is just like a tank for like a small target. Like, it's just overkill. Also, if we really want to be picky, JavaScript is technically faster, but no one's using JavaScript for speed. But you know, it is something to note. Like, if you're a big company, if you're a big corporation, I mean, speed is definitely important. You know, imagine Netflix. If their website is slow, people are going off. You know, they're going to Hulu, they're going to Disney Plus if their website's slow. So if their streaming platform is slow, so they need to make sure it's actually fast enough for the user to, you know, be satisfied. The next point is, you know, it's just, for me, it's just like another shiny object, you know. I try to be careful when I go on YouTube because I see all these things like, oh, this new framework, this new AI, and I've talked about this before in my why I don't like frameworks and why you shouldn't use AI to code. It's just another shiny object. Would it make my code better? Maybe, but is it worth learning? For me, no. And I might have a different opinion if I came from a different background. Like, I started learning with C++. Hold on. Excuse me. Like, if I started learning with C++ or Java or C Sharp, I'm sure I would have a much different opinion on this topic. But, I mean, as a solo dev, the reward of TypeScript is not worth the amount of learning I'd have to do to actually get used to it. Yeah, I mean, it's just, for me, it's not worth it. And, you know, if you're watching this and you know TypeScript, this is not like a diss or anything. It's just, I prefer JavaScript. There's nothing wrong with TypeScript. Just for me, I like JavaScript more. You know, it's a simple yet flawed language, but I mean, I don't know who said this, but the quote goes like this, right? There's two languages. Languages people don't complain about, and languages people use. I think I said that right, yeah. Languages people like and languages people use. Like, basically, I said that in a bad way, but basically all the actually used languages, people complain. Because, you know, there's some flaw, but yeah, there's a reason people use JavaScript, okay? It's because it works. Yeah, of course there's flaws. Look at this. Yeah. Okay, did I do this right? I probably need another A. Okay. Like, there's stuff like this. I understand why you're calling JavaScript a bad language, you know, but I mean, if you understand what's happening here, it's not that confusing. Right here, it's trying to add instead of combine a string, and since there's nothing to add, it's returning nan, not a number. Then this just gets erased. Or, you know, I think you're trying to add a string with a null, which returns not a number. That would still be banana, right? What would that be? Banana. But, you know, at the end of the day, every programming language has its problems. You know, I'd rather stick it out with JavaScript than try to find some hidden treasure that's the perfect programming language, because, you know, at the end of the day, nothing in life is perfect. So, you know, just find something that's good and work through those problems with it. So, yeah. Let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, that would have been annoying. Well, thanks for watching my video. Like if you want, sub if you want. Yeah, let me know if you guys use JavaScript or TypeScript.